Hello and welcome back to Train Simulator 2014. Today I thought that we should drive on one of the newer UK routes in this game, the East Coast Main Line from London to Peterborough. And yeah, just chose this one because I have completed this many times, although for some reason it hasn't come up, so I'm going to do number 5 with the class 365. And this is with the Armstrong Powerhouse sound pack. Right, let's go. Ooh, that was an interesting shot. And this is our train. Today you are scheduled to drive your train from King's Cross to Hitchin, stopping to collect passengers from Potter's Bar. You can read them yourself. You will then continue your journey where you will drop off your remaining passengers. Start by opening your doors and collecting your first passengers. Okay, right, let's get the train set up then. Now we don't need to worry about getting the cruise control thing working yet. Don't need the cab light on either. Right, let's go outside. Snowing, which is nice. Successful train stop. Okay, let's go. Unfortunately, this game doesn't have wheel slip simulation. Actually, I think it does, but it doesn't have the simulation of wheel slip protection, which these trains are fitted with. WPS or WSP. Yeah, WSP, that sounds more like it. I think Armstrong Powerhouse in their newer packs, like the Class 319, again in First Capital Connect livery, I think that one does have simulation of wheel slip and also driver-only operation, which I've been wanting in this simulation for, as long as I've had it, since the first edition called Rail Simulator, published by EA. Since then I've been wanting that sort of thing, but you've got to wait for the conductor to close the doors, and they're not it's not intelligent or anything, so if the starting signal's at red, the conductor will still close the doors. If you're late, then the conductor won't close the doors earlier. But yeah, with the new sound packs, I think it's also for the class 321, I think. They both have driver-only operation so that you can open and close the doors yourself. I haven't tried it out yet because I haven't been bothered to buy the class 319. I want it, but I'm waiting for the Steam Summer Sale. And I already have the Rail Simulator, the one from RSC already. I think they're called RSC or something, I don't know. Oh yeah, because it's railsimulator.com, but now they're Dovetail Games. Oh cock. 8 points lost. Shouldn't be too bad as long as I don't speed again. It's easier to do when you get up to higher speeds. Right, now got a limit of 55, and soon we'll be braking for Finsbury Park, so yeah, we will get up to 55, but not for long. And actually, I think I shall enable this, so swing that around to 55. Oops, what did I press? I pressed Y by accident. and switch that on, and then if we accelerate at full, it'll limit us. Right, let's start braking. I like to approach the station about 20 miles an hour. That's a pretty prototypical speed, I think. I'm not a driver myself, but you know, if you look through the window, yeah, that's 15 miles an hour, and it does kind of look like that. And this, yeah, I've got to be right up to the edge of this platform to completely fit in my train. It's odd, there's no car stop indicators. And no, I'm not going to fit this on perfectly. Yeah, the front and rear of the train is off by quite a bit. Let's have a look at the back of the train. It's not too bad. I mean, if this weren't a simulation, you know, that would have been fine to open the doors. The simulation isn't completely accurate, so it will allow both the front carriage and the rear carriage to not have their doors open, which realistically that doesn't happen. Even with the systems that let you select which doors to open, where you've got a short platform or whatever, that doesn't let you do one at the front and one at the back. Usually, wherever the guard opens the door from, when they activate the system, either the carriages behind them or in front of them will not open or close. You can't do one at one end and one at the other. Also on the Southern network, the South Central franchise, they use GPS in order to determine which doors to open. But again, that's only like the rear portion of the train that won't open the doors. That's for a shorter platform. Quite interesting though, because they use GPS for that, in like stations with more than one platform for one direction, they don't actually use GPS for it. They use like the TPWS grids to, you know, simulate the GPS signal to the trains, and that's how the train knows which platform it is in, so it can open the appropriate doors. I think when First Capital Connect were first introducing the Class 377s on the Thameslink network, they had a lot of problems with the doors not being able to open because they didn't get the GPS signal. So the driver would have to manually go in to the computer and tell it which doors to open. And again, I've gone over the front of the platform. Well, I haven't actually, so that should be fine. But you can see that the front carriage doors were open, were not open, sorry, and the rear three, they're not open. Yeah, it's an alright simulation. I mean, the physics and stuff, that's all quite nice, but there's a lot of stuff that could be improved in this game. They do a yearly update of this game, and normally they don't really update much. Between Train Simulator 2013 and 2014, which this one is, all they really did was make some changes to the menu system, and they made a few tweaks with the scenario creation tools, and route creation tools, which let you use Google Maps to accurately put down track and all the buildings and stuff. And that's definitely a good feature. And in the scenario editor they let you use your own custom code. So like you saw at the start of this video where the camera was going through the tunnel and it went up to the train. That can be done with the code, which previously only Rail Simulator could do, but now that's open to everyone, provided you know the coding language. I don't know what language it's in, so yeah. But also the majority of the scenario editing tools are from the original game Rail Simulator. If you look at it, it's exactly the same, really. I mean, sure, there'll be some changes here and there, but it's really not that different. And I think I'm probably going to do a comparison video, although Rail Simulator, the original game, it doesn't run on Windows 8.1, which is annoying, so I'll have to get that running on my laptop, which runs Windows 7, but it's got integrated graphics, so it's an old game though. The funny thing is, when I installed it on Windows 8, it told me to run the game on Windows 2000 or higher. That tells you how ancient the original game is, and you know, most of the stuff behind this game. I think they've probably changed the engine and stuff, because a lot of stuff has changed. For instance, when I accelerate and decelerate, you can see the the simulation of the driver's head moving. I presume that came with an engine update. And yeah, stuff like that. But for instance, if I go out here and press F6 and zoom out a bit, you can see these things. They were in the original game when you pressed F6. Yeah. This interface here, that's all new, the HUD. Previously, I don't think you had anything. But if you pressed F4, which is the button for this, you would get a little bar across the bottom which said throttle, speed, brakes, and I think there was something else. Might have been brake pressure or something. And then you had a track monitor over here, which said your upcoming stations. Well, basically it was this bar and this bit here. And yeah, it also said your speed and your speed limits. And that really wasn't great. Oh, cock. Okay. I think we're going to be missing Alexandra Palace. If this were... Oh no, we're gonna make it. Although I did the stupid thing and activated the emergency brakes. So I only lost 16 points, that's not too bad. Actually, yeah, I didn't even get to the end of the platform. Okay, I reacted a bit swiftly there. But what was I talking about? I have no idea. It was probably something to do with, oh yes, the route monitor. It wasn't that great, because in the original version of Rail Simulator, they had lots of information which showed all of this stuff. But then they updated it, and I think they removed the station information from there. So you didn't know how far away the next station was. And by the way, I have no way of replying with the bell. Armstrong Powerhouse didn't put it in. You know, press the signal button, doesn't do anything, and N and C, which are the common buttons. Okay, the train just stopped. Why did the train just stop? I've got genuinely no idea why that happened. Oh, when the brakes release. Ooh, that's gone down a bit. Oh, that's why. Got to build up the air pressure. But I cannot see that moving. I've got to get this up to about 6 before I can release the brakes, but that's not moving, which is fun. Why isn't the compressor going? Oh, that sounds like a compressor, but I've got no idea if that's actually the compressor or just part of the sound pack and it actually doesn't reflect when the compressor's on. It's still stuck at 3. There's no compressor speed up button, is there? I know there is on some trains. But I think that's generally with diesel trains. Oh, it's gone up a bit. It's about 3.4. Have we literally just got to wait for that to build up? Okay, it's going up slowly. Still, it's got to get up to 6, I think, before we can release the brakes, which is doing wonders for my timetable. Okay, it's not too bad, because Potter's Bar is 7 miles away. Ooh, why is that going up? Why did that just change? Okay. Right. Don't know what that was. But actually, wait. Ooh, it's estimating that I'm going to be 10 minutes late. Ooh, that's not good. Right, can we go now? Just about. It hasn't fully released the brakes. But that's fine. We're still going. Okay, so it's going to be a bit slower, but it's better than not moving at all. And let's move that up to 60. Is that going to go down on its own? I hope it does. Can't see it moving, and I can't see that one moving either. Oh, please tell me that I don't have to be stationary for the compressor to be running. Oh no, that arm is moving. Oh yes, that one's going down as well. We're all good. We should make it. And put this up to 75. Just about there. Okay, and let's try and stop normally at the next station without using our emergency brakes. Not sure if I'm even going to get up to top speed here. Yeah, I'm going to have to shut off power now. Oh, wait a second. Next stop is Potter's Bar. Wait a second. That's why I'm so late. Okay, there's some sort of glitch with this scenario where all of the stations are showing green. Normally in Train Simulator scenarios, only the stations that you need to stop at are highlighted in green. So I've been stopping at every single station. Yet I only had to stop at King's Cross and Potter's Bar, which I am still 6 miles away from. That's why I'm so late. I've only got 5 minutes to get there. It's gonna be tight. Okay, coming up to 75 miles an hour now. Hopefully this thing will be stopping us. I know that on the class 377 it was hideously inaccurate, so when you pointed it at 75 it wouldn't stop you at 75, and for like 90 you had to stick it up to 95 or something. Yeah, so that wasn't great. But this one, yeah, it's doing pretty good. Stopping me at 74.4 miles an hour. That's close enough. I don't think I'm gonna get it. No, that's too big a step. So, yeah, that's the speed that we're going to settle at now. I think using that is great for these career scenarios because, you know, it guarantees, well, almost guarantees that you're not going to break the speed limit. Okay, getting ready to speed through New Barnet at 75 miles an hour, just about. Ooh, what's that just popped up there? Well, that's definitely not supposed to be there. It only appears when you're below it, for some reason. And we paid extortionate amounts of money for these routes, and you find big errors like that. Is that just the road surface or something? Oh no, that's a snowbank that's only there sometimes. That's just brilliant. Right. It annoys me that the weather effects in this game, they don't affect the objects. I mean, the trees and stuff, they've all been given several textures, for each of the seasons. But the pantographs and the overhead lines and the tunnels and stations, the platforms, in snow, they look exactly the same. Snow should be landing on them. And, people should be dressed differently. They won't be wearing a t-shirt when it's snowing. They should have umbrellas out and, be wearing warm clothes and hats and gloves. And where people walk, there should be, on the platforms, you should be able to see, the main paths where people walk, to the train doors and to the waiting rooms. That's the kind of realism I expect from a simulator, because that's what it is. It's a simulator. So it should be as accurate as possible. But yeah, when I applied the emergency brakes in the snow, I shouldn't have come to a stop from 50 miles an hour, without going past the end of the station. That's just not really accurate. Oh, cock. Okay, I accidentally put it in emergency, and that's the thing I don't like. Is that when you put this into emergency here, it automatically presses that button, which it shouldn't do. And I think we're going to be fine to move off here. Still got lots of air pressure. It's good. But yeah, on some trains, when you accidentally push the power handle into emergency, there's no way of getting out of emergency again you've pressed the emergency button, which is just not prototypical, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure you can go in and out of emergency. And you would be able to press that yellow plunger there, which prevents the emergency brakes coming on if there's a passenger alarm or something, and you can press that for, I don't know how long it is, 30 seconds or a minute or whatever, if you're in a position where it's unsafe for the train to stop. For instance, in your a tunnel and there's a possibility that passengers would have to evacuate, you can hold down that pedal and it stops the brakes activating, for that certain period of time, which would be long enough to get you out of that tunnel. Unless, of course, you're on the London to Brighton route and you're between Merstham and Purley, where you've got that 1.4 mile long tunnel or something. I think it's 1.4. Hey, that was a genuine station stop. I didn't check here to see if it was actually the right one, but it was. And yes, we were 10 minutes late. Whoa! Minus 2,400 points. Wow. Yeah. That's not fun. One thing that I would quite like in this game, which isn't a criticism, because whenever there's 1 minute of delay, the party that caused it has to pay, I think it's £100 or £150. So if, for instance, the driver, me in this situation being 10 minutes late, because I accidentally stopped at the wrong stations, my train operating company would have to pay out to Network Rail for every minute that I was late, so they'd be paying quite a lot of money for this journey. And likewise, if the problem is caused by Network Rail, that then goes to the train operating companies that it affected. So that counts as signalling problems, track problems, but also external factors, so people like copper theft and trespassing. Network Rail actually have to pay fines for that. But I guess it's kind of a good thing, because it gives them a reason to really try and crack down on these causes. I mean, external factors, it's not so easy to control, but there are still measures that can be taken. Yeah, it encourages the parties to do whatever they can to run the service on time. And you know, when you complain about your train's always been late, and you think that the train operating company just doesn't give one, you know, remember that they're being fined for every minute, for every train. So if you've got one train being delayed and then all of the trains behind that being affected, which means that drivers can't change over to the next service or whatever, that means that, you know, that's going to be really expensive for the train operating company, which is why they do try and prevent this, even though it seems like nothing's being done. And that thing can kind of be annoying when you see people who don't actually appreciate the effort that goes into running any service at all, let alone an online service, a on-time service. There's so much stuff to do. I mean, you've got to maintain the trains, not just keeping them clean, which is just like a passenger comfort thing, but, you know, actually stopping them from falling apart. I think being delayed by 5 minutes isn't really that bad, you know, especially since you would otherwise be taking a car, probably, and the risk of you being in an accident in a car is just so much higher. I mean, ridiculously higher. Trains, you know, they're one of the safest forms of transport. I think the only safer form is by plane. I think it's like plane, then train, and then lift. I think that's the order of how safe they are. Because there's so many things which, you know, prevent a collision. And the most likely collision that a train will be in is with a car. Because of the maintenance of the cars and the drivers, you know, they haven't really got any training, really. I mean, if they drive badly, they're not going to lose their job because of it. And there's nothing really properly regulating the maintenance of those cars. I mean, yes, they've got to do an MOT, but in the period between one MOT and the next, a lot can happen to a car. Cars are the most likely reason for a train collision, or a person who's hit by a train. You know, whether that's them jumping or... Oh, I don't need to stop at the station either. Move train while doors open. Game over. Oh, another thing. This is not a proper simulation, because in the real life, it wouldn't just end. The universe does not just stop if you move your train with the door open. Right, where did I lose the points? Yeah. For being late at that station, minus 2,500 points. Oh well, okay, we didn't make it to Hitchin, but it was interesting. And I never finished my point about people being hit by trains. I guess we'll finish that in another video. So I shall see you then. Goodbye.